What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing a little comparing. Classic World of Warcraft came out in late November of 2004, nearly 20 years ago, and at the time it took the gaming world by storm. We all know the story, but with the unlimited access to WoW Classic and the recent release of Classic Hardcore, us players have begun to experience it all again. There's a lot we could look at, but something I am interested in is how much the models and animations have improved since the original release. I tried my best to line up the exact same NPCs for comparison, and before you think that Dragonflight will look way better than Classic, and in a lot of ways it does, keep an open mind as you may be surprised. First off, we have your everyday run-of-the-mill orc grunt. I purposely chose this NPC as it is a very unassuming one. This is not an impactful NPC and may have been neglected by Blizzard, or at minimum not given the same amount of love as an NPC that hands quests out. A couple things we can notice immediately are the more rounded features of Retail, especially the hair. In Retail, the hair is much more smooth, and in Classic, it is much more straight and narrow. The colors of the eyes pop a lot more in Retail as well. It is very interesting as you can go around and find different NPCs with different colors of eyes. Small detail, but it's neat. One common theme you will find is how much things actually did not change. In this example, the painted on harness they both wear is identical. Literally, I can't see a difference. Also, the blinking is pretty horrible in Classic. Not trying to bag on them, but it's very obvious. And next we have a simple female orc innkeeper. Now we are getting into an NPC that should have a bit more attention given to it, and I have to say you can really see a big difference between the eyes and emotions of Retail and Classic. One of the major criticisms of Retail is the overly cartoonish style and themes. Unfortunately, I think it's on display here as her aneurysms are quite silly. I personally like the style, but I can see the benefits of the grittier Classic style. With that being said, I think the Classic innkeeper is a bit soulless, but I may have to take her over her Retail counterpart. Quick note, they never fixed her feet being stuck in the ground, the exact same stance after nearly 20 years? Man. Next we have the dwarf, and if you want a window into the improvement of facial hair, this is where to look. The Classic version is very sharp and edged, while the Retail version looks way more natural. The shading around the eye blends much better in Retail as well. The overall emotion of Retail is on full display with this wide-eyed, hairy man. I do think this is one where Retail looks much better than Classic in all areas. Now we get into a very interesting comparison. Interesting due to the fact that I think Classic looks way better. This is one of the first NPCs in the Night Elf starting zone, and I think the model is shaded and shaped better. First, the eyes in Classic have a glow that goes well beyond the eyes, while Retail has the eyeball lit up. I prefer the Classic effects in this area. The ears appear to be longer, at least on this character model in Classic as well. The overall structure of the face is much more stern in Classic, and if you were to dive into the Night Elf lore, then that might make sense, as originally they were very fierce and recently they have been on the losing side of conflicts. Finally, we have the pecs and abs. I mean, the shading in Classic is just great. It really goes well with muscles and causes them to pop out more. Overall, the model looks more fierce, strong, and on par with Night Elves in Classic. Now we have another show of muscle with the humans. Most of the points I made regarding Night Elves stand true in this comparison as well. I believe the muscles look much more intimidating in Classic, and Retail looks a little too cartoonish. This particular NPC is a vendor in the human starting zone. I took time to pick some of the starting zone characters as they would more likely be in a similar spot after all of these years, and they will make the first impression on the player. We are going to finish strong with the trolls. I think it's pretty clear that Retail did way better with the trolls, mostly due to the eyes and how the tusks look attached to the body. The animation is much better as well. One feature I do like in Classic is the nose size. I believe that trolls should have a larger nose than they currently have. Trolls have a lot of movement animations, as you can see in this clip, and seem very lively. Even though Retail is a bit cartoonish, I think trolls actually look more stern than in Classic, which goes against the trend of most of this video. And there you have it, a brief comparison of character models from Classic and the newest and current expansion, Dragonflight. The reality is, most players do not get this close and personal with NPCs and may not have noticed a lot of these changes. With that being said, I think the player is missing out on a lot of really cool and lively animation, like in retail where NPCs will watch you as you run in front of them. What do you prefer, the grainy, more stern animation of Classic, or the buttery smooth and slightly cartoonish style of modern World of Warcraft? Whatever you prefer, it's safe to say Classic was revolutionary, and retail has a wonderful spot in the MMO world. Not too realistic, and not too silly. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more, and see you next time.